So here to help us understand how the Democratic Convention could shape the election and to look ahead to the RNC next week, Morgan Lyon-Cotti here from Utah's Inkley Institute of Politics. Morgan, a pleasure as always. Thanks for being with us here this morning.
Happy to be here.
Now, so what's your biggest takeaway from the Democratic National Convention last night?
The biggest takeaway for me, well, I had two. One was this was really big tent political party appeal. They were trying to get to the liberals and the moderates, the old and the young, really trying to appeal to as many people as possible. And they also were trying to really humanize Joe Biden. And this is something you see every convention, whether it's done in person or whether, like last night, it was done virtually. There was a lot of call outs to his past, a lot of personal stories, really trying to paint an empathetic picture of the man.
I definitely saw that picture you're talking about of painting empathy when they compared him to that boy who stuttered. And they say Joe still stutters to this day.
Right.
Yeah, humanizing is definitely part of that big message last night.
Yeah. And Joe Biden was actually at the University of Utah last year, and he told those same stories. It's such an important part of his past. And like every convention, they want to bring in those touchstones and show, hey, I've struggled too. I've risen above. I'm like you. You should support me.
And then what do you think of his political message in his speech last night?
Yes, it was so interesting because we had a lot of aspirational tones. We also had some negativism criticizing the current president. But because it felt more like an address to a camera, which what it was, and this was sort of true for the whole week, those negative comments just sort of landed differently. They weren't shouting at a big crowd and getting a huge response. It almost just felt like it was a parent telling you, hey, I've got some bad news. It was really interesting tones.
Especially when you had Michelle Obama talking about this is a life or death situation, that we have to elect Joe Biden, and then her husband, former President Barack Obama, he's saying that this is something that the president simply just isn't capable of the job. And so it was very somber, almost like a comedian doing a bit with no audience at the same time.
It was, and we had this range from certain speakers saying, hey, this is so important, turn out to vote, to others who were almost saying, we're near the end, we have to make a change, or this is so dire, this might be the end of our country. So again, it's sort of that big tent. You're speaking to some people who might be questioning their vote for Trump in 2016 to other people who really do truly feel this is a crisis.
Well, it was a weird year altogether. I mean, having this convention and trying to adapt it in the way they did. They were the first to go here, holding the Democratic National Convention. How do you think they pulled it off?
The Democrats they decided to go virtual a long time ago. So they had a lot of time to do this. And a lot of it felt very produced, but it had to be. This was made for TV. There were some things that were done incredibly well. A lot of people loved the 57 different locations for all of the delegates. And here in Utah, we had Mayor Jenny Wilson from the Utah State Capitol talking about vote by mail and even holding her ballot. There were certain things that they did really, really well. The big question now is with the Republican convention, they changed gears a little very recently. So people are wondering, will they be able to have this highly produced convention?
Yeah, what do you think we'll see there from the Republican convention? That again starts on Monday.
Right. We'll see a lot of the same things. We will, this week we've seen people attacking Donald Trump. Next week we'll see people attacking Joe Biden. This week, excuse me, people were talking about how we have the best plan for America, focusing on those democratic policies. And next week, that is actually one of the big questions, wanting to see what Republicans will focus on. Will it be the economy? Will it be foreign policy? What are those things that they will really want to drive home to voters to show that they should support that party?
All right, we'll have to check back in with you a week from now and see how the Republicans pulled their version off.
Looking forward to it.
Will do. Morgan Lyon-Cotti here from Utah's Inkley Institute of Politics. Morgan, thanks for being with us here, as always.
Thank you.